are back. It hopefully is fixed. If not, we've tried everything. And yeah. So if you start to speak Bonj, and then either someone can tell us or you can have a look yourself. Um so now even the game sound is not working. Kim. Right. So Mr. Elgato is broken. So it's something that was working in fact, it was working on the stream starting screen while we were live. And the moment I switch over, it stops working, and I haven't touched any, no, Brando, I have not silenced Bonj. I have not silenced Bonj. Yep, I am officially bamboozled. Yeah. It's no, Brando, it's not the Xbox party, because it's the whole Elgato audio, which was working before. Like, you could hear the game sound and not Bonch. Before I start the stream, you could hear both. And the moment I start streaming, it doesn't work. But I haven't changed any of the settings, so I can't even fix it. Because there was nothing changed. There's nothing to change, nothing to fix. Yeah, there is literally nothing I can do, because there's nothing to change. DMs. Maybe Brando will lead us to a fix. I've never had this issue before, so it's not even like I know what to do, because it never happened. Yes, Brando. I have got that setting on. I can triple check. Yeah, headset and speakers. Alright guys, found the issue. Basically, it's fixing now. I know exactly what the issue was. I've done it before. When I'm pressing back, when I'm changing the setting, I always fat finger on this one checkbox, and I've done it, and without realising. So now it's fixed. Elgato audio is there.
Right.
And Mr. Bonch can be heard. Say hello, Bonch.
Right, it can be heard now. Hi.
There we go. And Brando, Mr. Guinea Pig, double check. Can you hear Bonch? Bonch, check. Yeah, alright, so we can hear him. Yeah, I've done it about 10 times. I always fat finger this one checkbox, and every single time I notice I've done it. This time I didn't notice I'd done it.
Okay, so would that then still work if I switched back onto my phone?
Yes, it would.
Right, hang on then. I'll wait about 20 weeks for it to boot back up again.
Talking about actual racing, we've got Neon Shockers, who's just spun at turn 1. We had 2 DSQs in Q1, so I'm not sure how that happened, but basically people who didn't need to set a lap and still would be through. Went out on track, disqualified themselves somehow. Not really serving a quali ban this season. It's round 1. No idea what they're doing, but so we're down to 13 in qualifying.
So Teddy Ruck's been spun out of the last corner while we were fiddling around with settings, and then who's the other one? Radioactive, I think, spun and then was disqualified trying to turn around or something like that. It was really weird.
Nice. So 2 people who had absolutely no pressure on their laps at all managed to win it. But while Bonge sorts out his microphone so you don't hear an annoying buzz, we'll have Ryan aboard with Mr. Rabid Mirror 4013. He comes around turn number 13. On the mediums, to be added. Oh, and we've got a collision. Non-right Loki collided with Halo. A 5-place grid penalty for non-right Loki. So he'll be starting 5 places lower than wherever he qualifies, but we'll stay on board with the Haas as the incident has cleared, so nothing really to see. And he comes across the line, goes P2 with a 17.9. Just 1,000. Oh, as my style goes quickest with a 117.2. He is on sauce. But, he goes quickest by 7/10 of a second, just under. And the other Mercedes got Mr. Tado just starting his lap, coming across the line into turn 1. See what he can do. Goes a little bit wide. Lose him some time, but plenty of places to make it back up. So he goes through turn 4. Really easy to lose the rear end there, but he keeps it planted. Opts for second gear at turn 5 is a bit random. Not something other people are doing. And Michelin right Loki, we've got our 3rd disqualification of the night. Mr. Loki has disqualified himself for going the wrong way in the McLaren. Couldn't quite catch him there. To see what happened. We've got Halo with no front wing. That's probably from their collision. So Loki's 5-place grid penalty no longer matters, as he will be starting dead last.
Right. Invite me back quickly.
Yep. Get Bonge back in the car too. So now I know the issue, it will never happen again. But we've got it sorted. We didn't actually miss anything because it was Q1 and Q1 only had 15 drivers, so it literally didn't matter. But we'll be on board with the Red Bull of Ronan. He was Division 2 driver last season. He finished P4 in the standings. He was just 1 point behind Halo. He was in P3. Just a little bit inconsistent at times for Ronan. He had the pace, definitely, to be up there for the title. But hello, Bonge. That is better. And Bonge, Mr. Lobby Creator, you put pit release assist on.
I do apologise. I thought I turned those off. That's amazing, because I remember turning them off.
All your blames go to Bonge.
Ah, brilliant. Okay, well, I can hear myself on the stream as well now, so that's definitely fixed now then. Lovely. Put that to one side now.
So yeah, with Ronan, he was P4 last season in Division 2. Definitely had the pace to challenge for the title, but a bit inconsistent at times. He did get 4 podiums, 2 of them being victories, but eventually he did lose out over the course of the season to Halo, just by the 1 point, which is pretty close over 12 races. But he comes across the line, he goes P3, 117.72 temps ahead of Derek, and what's that, about 5 milliseconds off Ruxian ahead of him, so very close at the front. People yet to settle up are Halo, Brando, Uncleaner. They're all in the pits.
Yeah, probably waiting till the end of the session to go out for their lap times. No need to really risk the multiple runs, especially after doing a little bit of practice in Q1. I think I saw one of them coming out though. No, never mind.
Nope.
I think he's lying to me.
Lovely.
We have no. That's Neon coming back into the pits. It's only Tado and Ronan at the moment.
We have Tado, I think he's starting another lap after he invalidated his previous one. Yes, he is. He's got a full tank, or fuel tank of ERS. DRS is open at the back of the car, and he's beginning his lap in the Mercedes. His teammate at the moment is P1 by 5 tenths. He is on the softs, but he is leading the pack at the moment. So we ride on board with Mr. Tado.
Important improvement in Sector 1. It's pretty good going so far then from the Mercedes.
Yeah, I didn't actually catch his first lap, so I'm not sure what kind of mistake he made there, but it must have been a pretty hefty one to make up that amount of time in just the first 4 corners.
Yeah, so far it'd probably go around about P7, P6. He's currently on course. About 3.5 tenths up at the moment. He's lost a tiny bit of time in the middle sector compared to the first, but you can definitely make up a load of time at the end of the lap. There's little cheeky things you can do with the ERS around this track. I've noticed from racing here in the past, tend to run out just before the line. I think Tado's going to do so. Yeah, there we go, just on the crest. Little cheeky things you can do with the ERS around this track. Certain corners you can turn them off, but it's just not really needed. Usually, I personally do it between turns 1 and 3, so where Tado currently is. Turn it off and then turn it back on when you get to the crest of this hill. So out of turn 4, is usually the best place. Turn it back on just to keep the ERS going. A couple of tenths at the last part of the lap. Hopefully, you see a few people do that. Brando's starting a lap now on the medium tyres in the Aston Martin. Really like his helmet. Very, very nice.
He's gone for a Vettel-esque type thing. Aston Martin, pink and white.
Definitely does blend in with the car very well. Lovely stuff.
So he is. No, he's not the first person to set up in the mediums, but judging by his usual pace, I reckon he'll be the first competitive person to do a lap in the mediums, set a more representative time. See what he can do. Through the treacherous turn number 8. That camera is a bit deceiving. I thought he'd gone round. He's kept it on track. Taking sector 2 quite nicely. Have a look at. He hasn't got a delta, but he has just made a mistake. I've seen he's lifted where he shouldn't have had to. I think he lost the rear. That's going to cost him quite a lot of time, I reckon, actually. He had to quickly switch over to the right to make sure he was back on the racing line for turn 12. But he'll come over the crest, the blind right-hander, keep it all the way to the right-hand side, fastest route to the line. And, he'll go P2, actually, 1:17.6, just 4 attempts off my star, so a really good lap on the medium tyre.
Yeah, it was a very decent, neat and tidy lap from Brando there. It's very impressive to be P2, especially on the mediums, compared to my style on the soft. Only 4 tenths in it between the two. I definitely favour starting on the mediums at this track. Softs usually tend to overheat quite badly around here, from my previous experiences anyway. I don't know if you've had the same. It's quite easy to overheat, especially the left-hand side going through the last couple of corners. As Halo goes second, just noticed, just ahead of Brando. Much identical times, the Alpine on soft tyres compared to the Aston Martin mediums, but still very good luck from Halo. As you were talking about earlier, P3 last season, very, very solid and consistent driver is Halo. Hoping to see more of the same from him this season. Yeah, just previous experience, he's usually a blast to race with.
Yeah, very, very, very consistent. If you have access to the Discord server, go to the results and just go on the Division 2 final standings and look at his results. They are all pretty much identical, near the front in the top 5 every single time. And although he never got the victory, I don't think. Division 2 last season. Never got the top step of the podium, but he still managed to secure P3 by 1 point. But yeah, that was just through consistency, keeping it on track, having decent pace. And hopefully he can build on that this season, get that victory. And with his consistency, if he can find the pace to challenge right at the very front, he's definitely a championship contender for sure. But on a grid mixed full of Division 1 and Division 2 drivers, it'll certainly be a challenge, but not impossible as he comes into the pits.
Yeah, definitely. Just having a double check. I was checking out Curiosity. His best finish was P2 twice, Azerbaijan and Japan. His lowest finish in the points was P5, and his lowest finish full stop was only once, and that was Brazil, P11. But other than that, he's been top 5 every race he's entered, aside from that one, or aside from Belgium with the DNF. But very, very good results from Halo.
So essentially every single race he finished, he was in that top 5.
Yeah.
Which, if you think about it, that is a pretty good stat. That's something that you do want to have. Yeah. Riding aboard now with Red Bull of Unclean across 3. He's now on the medium tyre. On his lap, just came out of turn 5, now into turn 7. Looking nice and neat and tidy. Not very aggressive from Uncleaner. Good and a bad thing at the same time. During qualifying, you want to be really aggressive. You want to turn that steering wheel as hard as you can, because you don't really want to protect the tyres. During the race, that helps you a lot.
He's backed out there.
Oh, is he backed out? Let's have a look at the back.
He's 5 and a bit seconds down.
Yeah, he's backed out. Looks like he's going to go again though, because he's got all the ERS he needs. He now plants his foot down to rise over the crest of turn number 15. I keep forgetting that this got the best camera angle in the game. I always catch it late. I will remember for when he's finished this lap. We'll ride on board with him for the whole lap. Did he make the line?
He did, yes.
Yeah, he did make the line. Not very much in it, but he's made the line. He will get accelerated tyre wear, which is not ideal, but he'll have the track at his grippiest in this Q2 session. He's P8, so he's got a bit of pressure on him, as everyone behind him is currently on a lap. And the only person in above him at the moment on a lap is Ruxian. Everyone else has manually retired or taken the checkered flag. But coming out of turn 5, Unclean across, looking pretty good through that first sector. Through turn 8. Oh, as he takes a lot of curb, that's going to unsettle the rear end. That's going to be a couple of attempts lost straight away. Yeah, he was way too acute coming into that corner. Took too much curb, unsettled the rear, and he's better hope that he had a pretty decent sector 1. And he needs a really good sector 3, sorry, to make that time back. But that's easily a couple of attempts just gone for him. But I'm now going to remember the best camera angle in the game, in my opinion. Hopefully it gives it to us. As he comes around the penultimate corner into the final one. Here we go. Rises above the crest. Coming across the line now. Doesn't take the shortest run to the line as he runs out of ERS and stays P8. But everyone else behind him has completed a lap. And he is through into Q3.
Yes, indeed. As My Styles topping this Q2 session in the Mercedes, followed by Halo Brando in P3 on the medium tyres. Very impressive from the Aston Martin, but Brando, very speedy driver. Ruxian P4, AlphaTauri, Ronin P5 in the first Red Bulls. Is it Derek or Derek? I get these mixed up.
I just called him Derek, a lot easier.
Derek, yeah, I think that's what it is. So we'll go with Derek. The Alfa Romeo sitting in P6. Rapamira in the Haas P7. Unclear after marginally improving, but staying at P8 in the final Red Bull. Stewart 9th in the Alpine, and rounding out the top 10, Mr. Tado in the second Mercedes. Eliminated in Q2, we have Neon Shockers in the other Haas, Mr. Pernheimer in the Ferrari, and Non-Rope Loki in the McLaren.
Yeah, Loki getting disqualified for going the wrong way. He did have a collision with Halo earlier on the session, which landed him a 5-place grid penalty. But while he was recovering, I'm assuming he had damage. I never quite saw the incident, but he probably spun it and couldn't recover in time, and the game decided to get rid of him. DSQ for Loki. In fact, Derek's in the chat. Derek, how would you like us to pronounce your name? Should we say the E's, like Derek, or can we just say Derek?
Because I think looking back at some of the other races last season, both of them called him a mixture of things. You called him Derek for a few times, and then
He's
I
just said
usually
it's
called him
Derek.
Derek.
He's just
It's
said
Derek,
it's
okay,
Derek.
lovely.
Thank you for clearing that one up. Just want to point out 4 drivers on the mediums made it into Q3. So in terms of strategy, it's a nice split. Looking for Brando at the moment is my favourite for pole. But what are your top 3 predictions for pole for the qualifying?
I'm gonna say, I agree with you. I'll have to say Brando pole, my star second, and then I'm gonna say Halo third. So it's basically just shimmying up Brando.
Shimmying up the current top 3.
P1. Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Just bringing Brando up to P1, everyone else is the same.
So Brando has just given his amazing prediction. Brando thinks he'll be P10. So he's not backing himself up very much, but no, if you can hook up that Brando, you'll be on pole in my opinion. Being just under 4 temps below the leader on mediums is pretty impressive. I'm Portimao. But are we going to continue the session? No one fancying to press A? Are we still on the screen, or is that just me?
I'm still on the screen as well.
Still on the screen. Okay.
Still waiting.
Taz says my style on pole, followed by Stuart and Ronin, and he also agrees on Brando P10. So
a lot of P10s for Brando at the moment.
Yep. But I reckon Brando, my style, Ruxian, that's my top 3 as we get going for the final part of qualifying. One thing I might have been let know. Ruxian was normally my weatherman for the race, and I haven't actually asked him to do it, to tell me. No, he hasn't told me. So, Brando, tell me the weather. You're in the session. Tell me the weather for the race, because it's looking quite dark now in qualifying.
That's my style going out pretty much immediately. I wonder if we have
we might have rain
on the horizon.
Yeah. If he's that urgent to get out. Tsunami there from Alright, we've got a tsunami coming. No, it's all dry. We've got 2 people saying it's all dry, so it will be all dry this session. Definitely overcast though. So I think Derek was the first one to come out. He's already at turn 4.
Yeah. For me. Just a little bit cloudy then, by the looks of it. It was, rather than a little bit of rain. I think rain was pretty a miss last season. I don't really remember. I know Div 1 had a fair few wet races. I don't think Div 2 did though. We had a couple of wet qualifying sessions, but I think the only time we had rain in the race was those last 2 laps of Singapore. Other than that, it's been completely dry.
Most notably for D1, D1 Japan, that was really wet. That was crazy.
That was very wet, yeah.
Yeah, that was really wet. I think that's my most notable wet race that I can remember. Like you said, Singapore towards the end was a little bit wet. But a few wet qualifying sessions and not much rain in D2 apart from that. It's always happened. D2 season before last, there was literally no rain in that one either. It was only D1, so this time that system has been destroyed with the European division. We've got a mix up of D1 and D2 drivers, so I'm wondering how the weather will play out, as we were just on board with Derek through time 1, beginning his lap, but he invalidates straight away. So he's going to have to either A, pit, or B, save fuel and go around again. And that means we're going to ride on board with my pole favourite, me and Bonges both have him as our favourite pole, Mr. Brando in the Aston Martin. He's currently at the hairpin of turn 3.
Yeah, looked a very tidy couple of first corners for Brando, and kept in vein throughout the entirety of the first sector. 21.9 was the first sector time for him. 22.1. I've just quickly gone on board with my style, so 3 clear my style so far in the first sector alone. Very good stuff so far from the Aston Martin. Into the treacherous turn 8. Keeps the car nice and steady. No major rear end losses there. Lovely to see. so far looking like a very clean lap from the Aston Martin. 52 dead pretty much in the first 2 sectors. And it's the same for my style. These two are very evenly matched now into the last couple of corners. I definitely have to agree with you. This camera coming up is probably the best in the game.
Yeah, it's either that. To be honest with you, I haven't spectated Abu Dhabi yet. There was one lap 1 camera angle for Abu Dhabi down the big straight, and it was right at the very end of it, and you could watch the drivers come up the hairpin and go all the way down the straight. Best camera angle if it's still in the game.
Ooh.
But Brando comes across the line. Look how close that is between Brando and my style.
Very, very close. 14 milliseconds.
At the moment, it is round 1 to Brando. Still time for the drivers to. Oh, well, look at Stewart. Look how close he's just gone.
Stewart's time, 118 dead.
So the top 3 separated by 2 100ths of a second. Really close stuff from everyone there. As Halo now goes P3. I don't know why I said that. I meant a second. Halo goes P3, 17.5. Potato goes P5 with a 18.3. Yeah, I don't know why I said 2 100 a second.
Ronan up to the line. 17.3 from Ronan. 3 tenths off my style, but he's putting his hat in the ring.
So yeah, top 3 actually covered by 4 tenths of a second. Still pretty close stuff, considering you've got 15 corners to make up that time. At the moment,
Taz says in chat, don't forget the Hungary hairpin cam.
Hungary hair. I'm not sure about that.
Is that turn 2?
Yeah, it must be. Or Monaco hairpin one.
Monaco hairpin's quite nice.
Yeah.
You get the overlook of Mirabeau down. That's quite nice.
End of lap hairpin. Oh, I know the one he means.
The last corner. Yeah, I think I know. Is the last corner where you kind of look at the pit wall and car comes round?
It's either that one or penultimate corner where it's like a drone cam and it stays there for ages and watches all the cars.
Either one of those two, to be fair. The last couple of corners of Hungary, to be fair. Collectively, I think are pretty good. We do have Roxy in the AlphaTauri on our lap.
Yeah, penultimate.
I don't know.
God, Bonge, honestly. He was talking
right.
Well, while we're waffling on about camera angles, Derek's set a blistering lap time, 155.9. He's now P7. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to improve on that one. That is a mega lap.
That's the perfect lap right there. Let's see. Ruxian, 52-0 from Ruxian as well, so I think he is going to throw his hat into the ring.
According to the track map, it is purple sector 2 for him, but that obviously is normally misleading. I hope it isn't, for entertainment's sake. But he's going to come across the final corner. Not going to stop milking that camera angle. Beautiful stuff. As he takes the shortest run to the line. And he's going to go P3.
172.
Really close stuff at the front then.
Ronan, I think, is a 10th and a half up. I don't know if anyone is ahead of him on a lap. Stewart has gone 4th with a 117.3. Derek coming across the line now. He goes P7, 117.8. So it'll be the 2 Red Bulls next. Ronan first, 2 tenths improvement. I'll put him just about in the mix. Maybe about 10th off, so if he can find that in the last sector, he would definitely be in this pole position fight. We've got Mercedes round at turn 1, I'm not sure which one that is. Not turn 4, sorry. But Ronan runs out of fuel.
Oh,
I was about to say, did he slow down? But I looked at the thing here and it's like, ran out of fuel. Very unfortunate stuff for Ronan there. That was a pretty good lap.
Is that qualifying? Oh, don't cut. No, don't cut it, Ronan. Don't do it. Don't do it. Get back on track. Oh, you cut the corner. Live on stream. Boo. Right, any other drivers, feel free to report him. I'm not doing it, though. Anyway. Moving. I don't even know if that's a rule in this league. But yes,
I don't think it is. Well.
Stewart made a 7/10 improvement on his first lap, so that's going to be... Oh, as he takes out both P0 boards. Mr. Pirelli not going to be happy with that. Stewart takes his frustration out for whatever reason on 2. Oh, as he just goes flat out into the pits. Lovely stuff there from Stewart. No rules broken at all.
We have my style coming to start a lap now in the Mercedes. Is second shot at pole position this qualifying session. He's only got the smallest of margins, 14 milliseconds. All he needs to beat Brando, but I'm sure Brando is gearing up for another lap, or he's going to concut. Is that the word? I can't. Is it concut? I think it is.
I don't know what that means.
He's going to like plan something.
Oh, he's validated. My style's invalidated. No, I want to see the timer, but because of the yellow flags of running. Oh, 3:45. Okay, I saw it.
3 minutes.
3:45. I saw it. Oof. So my style should have enough time. Will have enough time. Ronin, I don't think will. As he goes across the grass, cutting some grass. Maybe he will have enough time then, but.
Halo, I think, is on a lap.
Yeah, Halo in the Alpine, he's just over half a temp up through Sector 1. Plenty of other corners to make up more time. He goes a little bit wide at turn 8, but that's good. It will enable him to get a touch better traction out the corner. Through the flat out turn 9 into turn 10 and 11, basically the same corner. Oh, he goes very deep through there. That's going to lose him some time. A couple of mistakes through this second sector, and now he is 2 temps down on his previous best, and he does back off, probably ready to go again for another attempt. Looking further up, my style is beginning his lap. We'll ride aboard with him as he is the main challenger to Brando's pole position. He's going to come through turn 1. Takes that very nicely, almost hitting that yellow curb. Don't want to hit it as you will send your car into a spin. Keeping it going through turn 4 now, trying to keep it pinned on the exit. You want to get the power down as early as possible. Looking like he's done a pretty decent job. He is a 10th up through sector 1. He's had a really good sector 1 as my style. As he comes through turn 5, getting good traction. This is looking like a pole position contender lap.
Yeah, very nice so far from the Mercedes. Now through turn 8, keeps the car very nicely balanced through the corner. Going to Brando just ahead. He gets out of the way.
Oh, he's not getting up. That was very late.
Ooh, there we go. No, it's fine. 2 tenths up is my style in the Mercedes. Going into the last sector now. Let's get the best camera angle in the game ready one more time.
I have got it.
Let's see what the Mercedes can do. About 2 tenths up through the first 2 sectors. Has he found any more time in the last? This is definitely going to be pole, but by how much? 4 tenths.
What's that?
Up there so far from the Mercedes. Can Brando have an answer to that?
Yeah,
He's
riding
about to start his lap as well.
Riding aboard with the Aston Martin. Quite fitting that the only traffic that Lifestyle had on his lap was the Aston Martin of Brando. But this is it then. This is Brando's last attempt. Only 1 minute 14 seconds on the clock when he crossed the line. So he will not have time to go again. This is all or nothing for Brando. Fully committed through turn 1. He get pretty decent into turn 3. Takes that a lot nicer than my style. He didn't go as deep as my style did. That would enable him to get on the power nice and early. Straighten up the car through turn 4. And he is... Oh, actually, he's just under a tenth down through Sector 1. So what looked pretty good was actually not. Coming out of turn 5 now. Trying to claw back the time that he has lost. Turn 7 and turn 8, you've got to be fully committed if you want to gain any sort of time. But it looks like he took that quite nicely on the power early. Through turn 10 and 11 sequence. Takes that perfectly as well. So looking pretty good, but I was deceived by that in Sector 1. Coming through now to turn number 13, I believe. Looking still pretty good. Nice and tidy from Brando. Didn't quite catch a Sector 2 Delta, so for me, it's going to be the only director of how good this lap is going to be when he crosses the line. Didn't get the camera angle, unfortunately, but we're going to stay on board with him. And is he going to challenge a pole? Yes, he is!
Enough, only just beats the Mercedes at my style. Brando currently on provisional pole. Is there going to be anyone else that can challenge him here? Rapid Mirror, 52-0, the first 2 sectors combined. Not sure how far off he is, but he's on board with the Haas. He will be next. Actually, no, sorry, Mr. Tanner will be next. But he's a little bit down on his time, maybe had a little bit of a spin or a mistake. Derek is retired. But Rapid Mirror, rounding the last corner now for the Haas. Can he do anything here? He's used a lot of deployment, so it's going to cost him time. P5 for the Haas. Ronin Oh no, so Ruxian will be next in the AlphaTauri. He pulls into the pit, so he'll be running in the sister car in the Red Bull. Marginally up on his time. P3 for running. Stewart's invalidated, and it's just the last Red Bull to cross the line now. Can he get anywhere? P3, 69 for unclean across. And that, I believe, is now qualifying over. Brando does take pole position. Mustard P2, so our front row was correct, however, unclean across. With a really good lap from the Red Bull, slots into P3, closely followed by his teammate Ronan. Ruxian P5, the third of the Honda powered cars. And it's a Alpine sandwich with a Haas filling, with Stewart 6th for the first Alpine, then Ravid Mira in the Haas 7th, and Halo 8th. Derek P9, the Alfa Romeo, and then rounding out the top 10 is Mr. Tado. That was a very drama-filled qualifying session. Not a lot in it between these top two here. And my start. They've definitely had a bit of a rivalry, I guess you could say, both on and off track in the past. And maybe could be the ones to watch this season by the looks of it.
Yeah, quite an intense qualifying session towards the end. Got really close between Brando and my style watching those sector times. Poor sector 1 from Brando though. He was almost a tenth down, but he must have had a mega last two sectors to claw that back. But I mean, look at the margin between the two. Really good lap from both of them, as they are at levels above the field. But if you do ignore those guys' existence, P3, 4 at 5, both Red Bulls and the AlphaTauri are separated by just 2 tenths. So, and actually, if you go further below that, you've got Stewart and Rabbit. Look how close they are to each other. Only a few milliseconds in that, and then further back, the gaps do separate between Halo, Derek, and Tado. Almost a second separating those three. But yeah, very close qualifying session, all things considered.
Yeah, definitely. Just having a quick look at the race director screen between the two, there's literally nothing in it in the PBs in the first sector. It's about 0.02 of a second. My style about a tenth quicker in the middle sector, and then Brando claws that back at the very end of the lap in sector 3. So these two looking very balanced so far.
Remember who's on the mediums?
Yeah, Brando is on the mediums. I was just
Yeah.
about to say that.
Yeah.
We have a split strategy for these two, so this could be very interesting indeed. Have a quick look at the race director. So is Uncleaner actually, starting P3 for the Red Bull. He's on the mediums as well. Stewart and Rabbit are the other two in the top 10. Everyone else will be locked as softs. So far, it's also a pretty even split at the bottom. P11 to P15, bit of an even split between the mediums and the softs. No one opting for the hards to begin with. It is pretty interesting.
Often the person to go for the hards in these past couple of seasons is Halo, SSR Halo. Whenever he's been outside the top 10, straight on the hards, no questions asked. But he doesn't have that luxury for the alternate strategy. He's on the softs in P8. Could be a little bit of a disadvantage, but Neon Shockers in P11, he's on the secondary pole position, if you like. Yeah, he's on the mediums. He's done exactly what you should really be doing. As we look to begin the formation up, I'm going to be sorting out these overlays.
Right, so here we go then. Getting ready for the first of the 12 rounds this season. Yet another 12 race calendar. And I think we've got a pretty good opening race venue here in Portimao. 15 car grid. So just one last time of a quick rundown before these drivers get underway. Brando starting P1, MyStyle P2. The two Red Bulls, Unclean Across and Ronan P3 and 4, Ruxian 5th. Stewart in 6th, Rabbit Mirror 7th, Halo in 8th, Eric in 9th, Mr. Tado rounds out the top 10. Neon P11 on the medium tyres. P12 belongs to Mr. Ponheimer on the softs for Ferrari. Radioactive in the Williams P13. And then 14 and 15 belong to the McLarens of Teddy Ruxpin and Loki, both on the soft tyres.
Yeah, quickly, everyone, get your predictions in. I've just seen a few people doing it, but not everyone. What do you think is going to be the top 3, Bonch?
Okay, I'm going to say Brando P1, ooh, I'm clean across P2, Roxy in P3.
How you think my style might drop out of that top 3? Very interesting. See if he can back up his qualifying pace in the race. Same goes to Brando. He will have the disadvantage on the line. See, he's done a pretty good job backing up the pack. The all McLaren last row. Teddy Ruxpin and Loki, so I don't think they're doing any sort of backing off. So should be looking to get this race underway fairly quickly. And it's going to be very interesting on the start with Brando on that lesser grip mediums, but the longer lasting. Very long run up to turn 1, so if my style can't get ahead straight away, which he should be able to do, he can slipstream Brando all the way into turn 1, and vice versa. If Brando unexpectedly gets out-tractioned on the line, there's no reason why he can't stick on that overtake button, see if he can remount a challenge on my style. But everything's to play for, you never know, 2 Red Bulls that might stick their nose in as well. We're ready to get underway in Portimao. Yeah, everyone is nice and bunched up for the race start, so the top guys won't have much long to wait. So we get a terrible camera angle from the game as usual, so we'll just ride on board with Brando for now, waiting for to get the good one. Here we go. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights on for the RF1 Season 3 opener. Lights are away. And we are go, side by side, the 2 leaders of Brando and My Style looking to get ahead. He's got the inside line to turn 1. He goes down the inside. He's got a good start. Ruxian up a couple of places in P3. Uncleaner and Ron in the 2 Red Bulls having a bit of a scrap looking further down. Stewart is getting in the mix as well. Derek up a few positions. He's ahead of the Red Bull. Rabid Mirror also in the mix in the Haas. Just ahead of him, they've got the side by side Red Bull and Alfa Romeo. A bit of lag, but oh well, he goes deep, does the Haas, and Uncleaner successfully defends from Derek. 2 McLarens still together in 11 and 12, but looking further down, Tado made a bad start, Radioactive made a bad start, and so did Halo.
Yes, indeed. Just didn't look like they got the traction down, especially Radioactive Williams bogged down pretty much straight off the line. Another notable mention is Hornheimer up 4 places in that Ferrari. He's made a pretty cracking start. All things considered, Halo already looking to claw back his advantage or back into the top 10 with a move on Teddy Ruxpin, who drives into the back of Loki. Might be damaged, I'm not quite sure. A bit too hot on the brakes. Entering the last sector there. Looks pretty slow, might be damage. There's Tado and Radioactive, squabble over 13th. Williams gets the measure of the Mercedes.
Oh, we've got spinner
out in front.
Tado was out. Yeah, I saw that. He's going to go round, and he was straight into the wall. Quite hard speeds there as Halo enters the pits right behind him. Virtuous safety car is out. My Style, 2-second lead already. Obviously, it'll go up now because of the Delta, but the restart, if both My Style and Brando adhere to their Delta, there is a 2-second gap between them. Ruxian was pressuring him through the final part of that lap. Again, Ruxian on those soft tyres, he will have the more grip at this stage of the race. He was pressuring the Aston Martin. Brando going to get a bit of a break now through this virtual safety car, but I'm sure Rux will be straight back on him at the restart. 2 Red Bulls still side by side together. Uncleaner actually lost a couple of positions. Running got ahead of him. Same for Ruxian, so he's down to P5. Derek up 3 places, good start from him in P6. Rabid Mirror holding position in the Haas. Stewart also, I never mentioned, didn't make that great of a start. He's lost 2 positions, he's now down in P8. Yeah, like you said, Wenheimer, he's in P9 now, up 3 positions. Other Haas, both Haas's in the top 10. Neon Shockers on that final points place. McLaren's making an epic start together, up 4 and 2 places respectively. And Radioactive, we haven't mentioned much about Radioactive. Was he one of the ones who got disqualified?
Yes.
Yeah, so Radioactive trying to make up for that disqualification in Q1. He's actually technically not made any positions, but we are away for the restart. Looking like My Style hasn't got a very good go, as he's already lost 6 tenths total to Brando. Ruxian getting about a 10th on Brando, looking to pressure him through turn 3. Nothing doing in turn 4 either, as he loses the rear a little bit. He's not going to get the move done into turn 5, I don't think, because Derek picks up a 3-second time penalty.
Yeah, the first driver to pick up a penalty is very easy to do, especially at a circuit like this. It's ever so easy to drift wide. The McLarens have switched places. By the looks of it, Teddy Ruxpin down the inside of Loki at turn 5. Has elevated him up into P11, but my style definitely started to pick up the pace a little bit now, but Brando is definitely just reining in those mediums at the moment. That's all he really needs to do. He is going to have the disadvantage at the beginning of this race while everyone else is on their soft tyres, but those softs definitely won't last much longer. So Ruxian, if he wants to make anything of this strategy, really needs to get past Brando as quickly as possible, but Brando just needs to keep doing what he's doing.
Oh, we've got a spinner of Derek. Derek's round, and has he got a front wing? Yes, he has, so no damage done. Almost goes around again. I wanted to point out earlier, Loki's in AI mode, and Radioactive made a little bit of contact with him. I don't know if he's got wing damage from it, but yeah, Loki's in AI mode, which will explain his troubles at the moment, losing a couple of positions. But yeah, Derek went round, not sure if there was a collision or if he went round on his own. Still got his car in one piece. In the midfield, Puenheimer and Stewart going side by side into turn 1. Puenheimer on the softs.
For a spin.
Oh, Ruxian, yeah, there he is. Ruxian's gone for a spin in the gravel. He's got no front left end plate, and I don't know if he's hit the wall or if he's hit another car. He goes over that yellow sausage curb. He's now down out at the points, and he's got a whole lap to do with half a front wing.
Yeah, I just noticed it was Bornheimer and Stewart going side by side out of turn 5. Stewart gets the better traction, just down to being on the inside, but Bornheimer ran the outside and up into 6th place now for the prancing horse, absolutely prancing up the standings. But just a little bit more on Ruxian. I think I was just on board with him. I caught the end of it, just dropped the car maybe on the curb at turn 1 that you alluded to in qualifying, just slight tap of the curb and sent him round. Loki's on round as well. The turn 8, very easy to do.
Yeah, very easy to spin.
So easy to spin.
Yeah, very easy to spin in a couple of these corners. In Portugal, turn 1, easy to do. Turn 8, probably the hardest corner in the game, arguably. My style coming across the line sets the fastest lap. He's total gained 4 attempts on Brando since that restart. Ronin in the Red Bull on the soft tyre has only got a few laps left of his quicker, more rubbery softs on Brando. So he's going to have to make a move with the DRS if possible. He's going to look to get a good exit out of turn 4 compared to the Aston Martin using overtake. Oh no, he's just backed off a little bit, so he's happy to sit behind. But yeah, I mean, these soft runners, Brando is in such a good position. He's only lost 1.9 seconds to a soft runner. And he'll lose more, obviously, at the pit stops when MyStar gets a bit of a undercut on him. But yeah, I think Brando's in a really good shape here if there is no sort of unlucky safety car for him.
Yeah, definitely. He's definitely not losing as much pace as you would have thought, especially the deficit between the mediums and the softs. But that's maybe just it. That's why he's probably not losing that much time. Just it's so easy to overheat tyres around this track, and I think that might be, especially in the back end of the lap. I'm just going to want to watch the delta here. Renault's slowly pulling in at the back of this back end of this lap, so his tyres are just hanging on that little bit better than the Aston Martin, than the Mercedes. Sorry. It's around about the same now, 2.1. Just trying to. Oh, hang on. If I get rid of the telemetry, I might be able to see.
Ronnie going to look down the inside of Brando. Oh, he just backs out. He set the fastest lap. He is looking very quick at the moment. I thought he was going to send it down into turn 1. Nothing doing for the Red Bull at the moment. Sorry to cut you off there, but that was going to be a pretty immense move if he stuck it. He's going to have another go into turn 5, but no, he's just too far back. Just want to point out, Ruxian, he's pitted. He has picked up a penalty, but he has pitted for the hard tyres, so he's going to look to go to the end. He'll easily make it to the end. Now in that AlphaTauri, looking to make amends for his spin at turn 1.
Yeah, definitely the hards, definitely the race tyre around here, from previous experience anyway. But Ronin, I just caught the back end of that move, as you were saying. It looked, that would have been a very, very good move if they'd pulled that off, but just was a little bit too far back to probably be able to make the send into turn 1. But he's keeping behind Brando, but as is usually the case with Ronin, he's very good at managing his ERS, 85% compared to the Aston Martin 63. Brando having to burn a little bit more just to make up for the tyre delta he's currently experiencing, but the race will definitely come to him. wanting all the stars align for him, and so far, I think they are.
Yeah, all this half battling has allowed the other Red Bull Unclean Across to catch up a little bit. Yeah, riding on board with running, not attacking at Brando for now, but he's doing a good job at managing those tyres. Lap 7, they are hanging on, but I can notice he's struggling the most out of turn 4. Don't know if that's dirty air or just a corner that he's not enjoying, but he's yeah, a lot worse than Brando on the exit. So he's struggling a little bit to get ahead of the Aston Martin, but they're looking fairly equal on pace. So I think even if he does get ahead, it won't benefit him that much.
No, definitely not at this track. Being in dirty air, as bad as it kind of is in cornering, it's a bit weird how it works on this game. That I've noticed anyway. If you're in dirty air, especially at a track that's easy to overheat your tyres actually cool down because you've got less air. It's really weird, but I think maybe that's Ronan why he's able to keep up with Brando this kind of level at the moment, even though the softs will probably be starting to be a little bit worse for wear, especially lap 8 of this race. There's a lot of graining, especially on the left side, but it's a little thing I wanted to notice. Maybe see a move in a second, but at the moment, Teddy Ruxpin is currently at 8th, up 6 positions from his start. Wondrous stuff from the McLaren driver. Very under the radar driver, I've noticed with Teddy. He was my teammate last season. We got constructors together, but he's always there or thereabouts, and it's sometimes a little bit hard to notice him. No discredit to Teddy. He's a very, very good driver. So he's usually there or thereabouts, and at the moment, maybe more of the same.
Yeah, he's made a massive improvement since F1 2020. I remember racing against him off the pace on that game, but he's obviously put in the hours this year. He actually did get a win last season in Singapore with 2 podiums, including that win. So 1 win and 1 podium for Teddy Ruxpin last season, making massive improvement. He's looking to get past the Alpine of Stuart Gumbo at the moment. Stuart down 1 position in the Alpine, kind of in no man's land at the moment. These guys has got 1 second gap behind them and a 2.3 second gap ahead of them. But we'll ride on board with Teddy Ruxpin for the main straight as he's looking pretty close to that Alpine with the DRS. Let's see if he chooses to use the overtake or not.
Unclean Across here, sorry to butt in. Unclean Across swapping places with his teammate here. Ronan's tyres maybe starting to go, so maybe the team game has been deployed at Red Bull. Unclean up to P3 back where he started. Same with Ronan, now down the position. But maybe a little bit of team orders there, but it's definitely to benefit the team.
Yeah, Unclean are on the medium tyre compared to Ronan's now dying sauce. Ronan would have lost a lot of time doing that, but I think if you do want to think about the Constructors' Championship more than your own, then you would let your teammate pass. I'm assuming while we were talking about Teddy, that Uncleaner would have been just bullying, running around the track, pushing him along. As Neon Shockers and Halo fighting over that last point position. Looks like Neon has just blasted past the Alpine on that main straight. So we've got a yellow flag for Ruxian once more. He's in the gravel on those hard tyres at the last corner.
Not having the best time so far is the Alpha Ruxian. It's usually a massive shame. He's got so much pace under him. It's just always seeming to be off the track rather than on it. But Ruxian won't give up. Definitely know that from experience. He's very persevering. I'm sure he can stick with this. Hope maybe for a safety car a little bit later in the race. But so far, it's definitely not been the best of starts to his season. But it's never over until that checkered flag falls. But Unclean Across as well, I've just noticed. Right on the back of Brando here. He's definitely within DRS now. He doesn't have a lot of battery. But neither does Brando. My style, comfortable 3.4 seconds, 3.3 should I say, up the road from these lot, not losing too much time. So the Mercedes managing his tyres a little bit better by the looks of it than the other soft runners. Teddy Ruxpin goes for a move on Stewart, or they're battling, sorry. Stewart gets a penalty into turn 7 here, through turn 8. Stewart tries to keep it up the inside, and McLaren hangs it round the outside. Oh, what a move. It's still side by side so far, so it's not all done and dusted just yet. But, Stewart keeping his Alpine down the inside of the McLaren. And I think McLaren has to yield, but Radioactive as well, and the Williams just creeping up on this pair now.
Oh, is he going to look down the inside? I thought he was going to stick it there. The Williams are Radioactive. I thought he was going to do it then. That would have been extremely bold. He is on the medium tyres. Probably got a lot more grip than Teddy at the moment, as we're going to ride on board with the McLaren through the last corner. He's probably just going to say goodbye to Stewart with the DRS. He's using that overtake, and I don't think there's much Stewart can do here. DRS enabled, and Teddy Ruxpin is up into 7th place. But yeah, like I was saying before, well, we were talking about before, Uncleaner Cross, he was a lot faster. He is a lot faster, though, should I say, than Brad at the moment. But look at the gap now between my style and Brando. I think my style is slowly dropping off the cliff a little bit on those soft tyres. Lost for probably about 5 or so attempts in that last lap alone. But the two Red Bulls just clinging on to each other, running 9 attempts behind his teammate, which is pretty impressive considering he's on those dead softs. 1/3 of the race completed, and I'm assuming we're going to look to see a few pit stops in the next couple of laps.
Yeah, definitely. Pretty much open is the pit stop window for the softs. I'm actually surprised they've lasted this long, 2/3 of the race. But a lot of these guys are very, very good at managing their tyres. But the main place I'm noticing my style lose out to Brando is traction zones, and that would definitely be down to tyre wear from the Mercedes compared to the Aston Martin. So this is the time where Brando will probably be looking to get a bit of a wiggle on to catch up to the Mercedes. But Ronin's just dropped out of DRS from his teammate. However, he is still Uncleaner is still on the back of Brando, maybe trying to make a move as they are on similar tyres, and if he battles Brando, that could bring Ronin back into this. But the top 5, kind of a little world of their own at the moment. About a 6-second gap to Rabbit in P5, but I'm massively impressed so far, I must say, with Pernheimer and Teddy Ruxpin, 6th and 7th, gaining the positions totally that they're actually in. Pernheimer 6th, so Teddy Ruxpin 7th, so it's very good stuff to see from the sort of midfield lot so far. But 2.8 is the gap now, so looks like now my style's starting to get a bit of a wiggle on, maybe using a bit of battery. Could be looking to pit this lap. Those tyres definitely don't look in the best of health on Mercedes.
One thing I'm looking for now is potentially an undercut from Uncleaner on Brando. Is he willing to sacrifice a bit of grip towards the end of the race for the track position? He stays out for now, as does Mercedes and my style, so no pit stops yet. Yeah, I'm just looking for this undercut. It'll be extremely interesting to see how early these medium runners are looking to pull the trigger. Are they going to do a similar time to the softs? We can see now how far the softs can run, so maybe an earlier pit stop from the medium runners. Have they learned how far the softs can go from these other guys? But I'm just noticing Brando, he's so much better than everyone else through turn 4. He gains at least a 10th on everyone through that corner alone. He's obviously got a lot more confidence on the power than everyone else, even on worse tyres, like we saw earlier on in the race.
Yeah, definitely. It just seems a lot more, maybe a lot more downforce on the rear wing of that Aston Martin. I was about to say Alpine. One thing I did just notice: the first man to pit this race is Teddy Ruxpin. He's now thrown on the hards. Probably taken to the end of the race, but this could definitely bring him a little bit closer to those ahead of him, especially the likes of Pernheimer, who he was then chasing down after he got past Stewart. We'll have to see where he comes out in relative to Stewart and Radioactive, who he was closest to on track. But I wonder when my style is actually going to pull the trigger and pit. Not this lap. So he's definitely going a long way on those softs. Maybe looking to go soft to medium, which definitely is a strat for someone with the pace of my style. And like Brando, the top lot, definitely looking to do the medium, the soft to medium, or the medium to soft, but definitely more of a favour to the hards around this circuit. They grip so much better than a lot of people think, but maybe that's just down to a bit of setup or a bit of preference. But definitely a lot of interesting strategy calls right now, especially with the Mercedes staying out as long as he has.
Mr. Puttenheimer coming out the pits now, obviously ahead of Teddy Ruxpin, but see what kind of gap there is going to be between them. Looking for it to go down. Also, Teddy Ruxpin picks up a penalty on the exit of turn 1, so even if he does get ahead of the Ferrari ahead of him, won't matter, as he has now got a penalty. Looking back up to the top 3, unchanged then. Unclean is still about 7 tenths back from Brando. Brando gaining another handful of attempts on My Style. Still looking to pit. Yeah, there we go. Riding a ball with My Style, and he has come into the pits. He has pulled the trigger on the pit stops. I'm assuming he's going to hop on those medium tyres. Would only make sense. Yes, he is. He switches to the mediums. Let's see where he comes out on track. Is he going to get held up by anyone? But he's going to get a nice undercut on Brando. And we'll look to see when these medium runners react to that.
Yeah, if they're going to react, it's going to definitely be reacting now and going on to the hards. I don't think softs can do about 18 or 17 laps from here. It's definitely going to be a very tall order to do that kind of mileage on a set of softs, but going to have to hope. Well, I think Brado and Unclean are going to be hoping to maybe have the race come to them a little bit, just carry on doing what they're doing, go for the softs at the end of the race and just have better grip towards the end. But I think other than that, that's all they can really rely on. They probably will end up losing the being undercut by the Mercedes of My Star, but definitely I think worth playing the long game in a situation like this rather than blinking now. Maybe picking now could put a disadvantage later. Definitely, as you say, have to see how these guys react. Both of them stay out for now.
Yeah, these guys, Brando and Uncleaner, they've got to work together. They have to work together as the other Red Bull running comes into the pits. But yeah, these guys have got to work together. Brando's lights flashing, I've just noticed, so he's not managing that best as he defends to the inside in turn 3. So they're not, well, Brando at least is not looking to work together. But yeah, these guys just need to not lose time, work together, make sure they lose as little time to My Style as possible. But no, I don't think they are. Uncleaner did look to the inside a little bit into turn 5, following on from Brando's aggressive defence. But yeah, I think we are going to see a battle from these guys. My Style, he did come out on P5, worked quite nicely for him. He's got a 5.8 second gap ahead, so he's got some good time to work with. Running just behind him, a second behind him. So he's actually gained a bit of time, I believe. Is that right? Are my gaps telling me the right thing? Because it doesn't look like a second. It's definitely not a second, so I don't know what that is. But yeah, running behind him. Also on fresh mediums. But looking further down, I've got Neon Shockers. I just realised he's on 9-lap-old softs, so he had a early race incident, I believe. He pitted onto soft tyres. He's looking to make a 2-stop work, and I don't think it is going to work considering where he is at the moment in P10. If you're going to make a 2-stop work, you want to be penalty free and up the front. But I don't think it's going to work out for the Haas, but Brando and Unclean are getting closer and closer. Let's see what happens in this next DRS zone.
Yeah, definitely Uncleaner had been trying to size up a move for a fair while now. He's got a fair bit more ERS than the Aston Martin, but just a small little note as well. I've just found Stewart has overcut Teddy, but I think that might be about to come undone now with the DRS from the McLaren, or maybe not quite close enough just yet to make a move. But Stewart back ahead of the McLaren at the moment, as it stands. But I definitely agree with what you were saying earlier. The front two really need to work together. Maybe a DRS slingshot off of each other, just to kind of gain a little bit more time to My Style, because at the moment My Style in clean air is definitely going to be saving his battery, saving his tyres, just driving at his own pace, and he will definitely be ahead. But the more these guys fight, the bigger that gap is going to be for them to try and claw back at the end of this race, provided they go onto the softs. Definitely going to be interesting to see how this race closes out.
Here we go, going to cut out Uncleaner going down the inside of Brando. He almost made that stick. He was a little bit far back, but these guys are 100% not working together. They are sworn enemies at the moment. Brando didn't actually go defensive. He was far enough ahead to make it work, keep the defense going, but using a bit of overtake is unclean. Is he going to look down the inside turn 5? No. Just backs out. And he has to settle behind and try again next time round.
Yeah, definitely looking for the move at turn 1. It's very, very bold to go down the inside. Probably be better off trying the outside, but that's going to rely on the car in front going defensive and then opening up the line for the other person to just swoop around the outside. But they're definitely costing each other time, like, considerably now. The gap to my style at the moment between these two is 19 and a half seconds, there or thereabouts. Pit stop around here, I think, is around 22 seconds, and my style's going to have about a 3 or 4 second gap as it stands, and these guys I don't think are going to be pitting for a little while longer. Unclear across with the DRS. He's going to try again. Renault doesn't defend this time. Allows the Red Bull through. Maybe now the teamwork starts. But, that is the Red Bull now up into the lead of the Portuguese GP here in RF1 Europe. Let's see how Brando reacts here. Just stays behind with the DRS, so he's just given the Red Bull an opportunity to go in front first.
Yeah.
18 seconds now is the gap to my style.
I mean, these guys aren't working together now, which they should be, but I mean, when they do end up pitting, I'm assuming at the same time, whoever's ahead is going to pit and the guy behind is going to react. But yeah, I mean, I think these guys might be costing themselves the chance to fight for the victory. Stuart and my style looks very strong at the moment. 18 seconds behind them. Good pace in the mediums. He will be a lot slower, to be fair. However, let's see what kind of gap he can have. We're still waiting on the pit stop. I reckon we're now around that window opening. If any of these two want to get an undercut on the other.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to wait and see as they come around the last corner now. Unclear up goes into the pits. Brando follows him in, so not wanting to lose out. Going to be a battle of the pit crews here between Red Bull and Aston Martin. So that's going to have to be a pretty bad pit stop from the Red Bull crew to gain that kind of lap. Soft tyres for both of them. Red Bull goes through, so Unclear up will hold the lead. Brando had to be held in the pits a little bit as to not unsafe release. Maestro comes through on the straight now. Let's see what kind of damage this has done with those two battling. Ronan as well is closing down on this straight. Is he going to get ahead of either of them? I think he's going to get ahead of Brando here, around the outside of turn 1. And the Red Bull is through. So that battling has cost Brando positions, in effect.
Brando was quite slow on pit entry. I think he overslowed a little bit. I think he was a little bit nervous to not run into the back of Uncleaner, but now team games are going to come into effect. Ronin is not going to yield to Brando at all. These guys are going to start battling. But now it's just up to Uncleaner. 5.7 seconds the gap in 13 laps, certainly doable. He's going to have to do a pretty consistent run on these softs if he wants to have a chance. Bear in mind they are going to drop off towards the end. See who's drops off the most though between my style and Uncleaner. 4 lap old mediums compared to fresh softs at the moment. Rexin picks up another penalty to add to his misery. Same for Derek. 5-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. He's obviously just cut a corner massively.
Yeah, indeed. It's definitely going to be a bit of a tall order for Brando. Not impossible. There's still 13 laps to go of this race. But Uncleaner, is the closer of the two. 5 seconds. Brando's going for a move on Ronin here, wasting no time at all, getting past the other Red Bull. Ronin doesn't put too much of a fight up. Got the Sector 3 yellow, and that's Derek, I think, in the Alfa Romeo round. But these guys definitely have to push like mad, but while still keeping their tyres in check, as Uncleaner has a bit of a rear and wobble through turn 4. But they've got a lot of work to do to try and salvage something, but I think definitely possible. That's 3 tenths already that Uncleaner has taken out of the Mercedes just in the first sector and the outlap of his new tyres. Brando's definitely closing in as well.
Looking at the midfield, Teddy Ruxpin Fake to move down the inside of Stewart into turn 5 as he almost loses the rear. Yeah, I thought he was going to go for a move then, running out of ERS at the last moment, not quite close enough. So this midfield battle is also heating up. They have got penalties, but I believe Stewart and Teddy with the same amount of penalties, so fighting for track position. 4.5 seconds is the gap now between My Style and Unclean. He's just got so much more grip at the moment. Every single lap his advantage will go down a little bit. But I think up until from now to about lap 31 or 32, he's going to always have the advantage over My Style. But it's also about ERS management, it's not about driving at the moment. Not all about driving at the moment. They're pretty similar. I think Uncleaner just a little bit more from what I can see on the steering wheels. But yeah, I mean, I think there's going to be other factors that play into this other than just the driving.
Yeah, definitely is radioactive. Looks to the outside of Pernheimer at turn 1. There we go, swoops right round the outside. Lovely as you like. And one move around the outside. There's just no contest for the person defending. Can't really do much as you compromise your line by going to the inside. But thank you very much, says the person on the outside. And through is radioactive. He would have been there anyway, as he doesn't have a penalty compared to Pernheimer having one. But just getting that solidified on track, and now the Williams can start heading after the Haas of Rapid Mirror. It's 4 seconds as well, the gap at the top. Brando set the fastest lap on the previous lap. But definitely starting to close down will be these two soft runners, but they also need to be careful of how much they're taking out of these tyres, because they're going to want something in reserve for actually trying to battle My Style, because he's definitely going to put up a fight when these two get to, if and when these two catch him. But 3.7 seconds now is the gap between Uncleaner and the Mercedes and My Style.
I think at the moment Brando's going to have to rely on a battle to catch up. He's in total gained 2 tenths, but he's just lost a tenth through sector 1, and he's going to lose all of that advantage he gained. He's pretty much equal on pace with Unclean at the moment. Yeah, 2 seconds the gap. Did bring it down to 1.8, made a little bit of a mistake and lost it all. But yeah, I think the only reason, or the only way that Brando's going to be able to fight for this win is either a mistake from My Style. Oh, we've got a retiree. We've got a retiree of Derek. Safety car.
Safety car has been deployed. That's definitely going to open up this race. So that could open the door for a lot of these guys to pit onto another set of softs. We'll see who actually does. I definitely think My Style will. Because these guys, even if they pit, they won't really lose too much. Rabbit is 11 seconds behind Ronin. Or there or thereabouts, so they definitely wouldn't lose too much if they were to pit. But about to find out if anyone will take this opportunity. As the Mercedes and My Style running the last corner now. Yeah, into the pits.
No brainer.
He comes. My Style, ooh, picks up a penalty.
Oh,
drive-through penalty.
Oh.
Speeding under the safety car.
Now that's race ruined for My Style. He's just thrown it all away. Uncleaner comes into the pits. Brando doesn't. I wouldn't if I was one of the soft runners at the moment. Only 2 laps really is the difference. It's not going to be that much. So Brando inherits the lead. Ronin in P2 also stays out. I'm sure he'll be quite vulnerable to My Style on track. However, with that drive-through penalty, he's completely ruined his race. It's really interesting. He was so desperate to get into the pits quickly. Not sure why, as he would have lost the positions anyway. But yeah, he was just so desperate to get into the pits, he forgot about his Delta.
Yeah, it's definitely giving him a lot more to do now. It's going to be a very, very tall ask for the Mercedes. Try and salvage something now. Definitely be relying on another safety car. Just to kind of claw back a little bit of the time he's going to lose with that drive-through penalty. But he will still lose a lot of track positions, and so far we're definitely outside of the points, at least for the Mercedes, when it was all falling in favour for him. He was having a little bit of threat looming with Uncleaner and Brando, but now he's got a lot more to do, and it seems like a very tall order. It's a lot of people have pit under this safety car. This has also brought Ruxian back in from his misdemeanors in the open stages of the race, back up to P10 at the moment for the AvaTauri. But everyone behind Ronin is on fresh tyres. everyone on softs, other than Ruxian opting for the medium tyres. Brando on 3-lap-old softs, but it won't matter too much given that we're under a safety car.
I'm wondering how hard is Ronin going to defend against these soft runners. He shouldn't defend much against my style. I think he should wave him through considering his penalty. But yeah, I mean, it's a tough one for Ronin. He opted for track position. I don't think that was the right idea. He's going to be so much slower than these guys between now and the end of the race. I mean, they're all in fresh softs and they've only got what will be about 7 laps to even do. So it's going to be easy for these guys to make it to the end. Brando included. So yeah, a bit of maybe a mistake from Ronin. I mean, I could be wrong, could prove me wrong with some immense pace, but it's going to be a massive challenge for him to be competitive and stay on that podium.
Yeah, definitely. He's got it all to do now in these last few laps, but I just had a bit of a question for you here. What would I do if I've only just joined the action here on lap 25? How would I be able to see what's happened previously?
Well, Bonge, that is a really good question. So, viewers, if you are a Sky View or a Sky Glass customer, if you hit that big red button on your remote control, you can watch the action side by side with the highlights from the race start to battles to collisions to overtakes, anything like that. If you want to watch the replay alongside the real action, just press that big red button on your controller if you're a Sky Q or a Sky Glass customer.
Lovely stuff, all caught up now. Oh,
Yep.
that graphic just looks gorgeous. I love it.
Absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, so resuming back to the action, safety car in this lap, perfect timing. Gonna ride on board or ride outboard with Brando for this restart and see when he decides to go. Let the safety car create a bit of a gap. And getting pretty close. And Uncleaner, they're all swapping positions to the back. They're actually losing tyre. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know if that's my timing screen or anything like that. Messing up, but they were swapping positions a little bit in the midfield. But looking like Brando has not decided to go just yet. He's going to wait until the line. And yeah, here we go, overtake. But he didn't get a very good launch compared to Ronin. He's going to be under pressure at the restart. Ronin using his ERS. He's going to opt for the inside line into turn 1. He's getting closer. Down the inside he goes. Brando leaving the space. Not much you can do on the inside line into turn 1. Brando stays ahead of Ronin as he sends one down the inside. Ronin goes so deep. Brando will get the switchback. Oh, that was brave there from the Red Bull. He sent it into the inside of turn 3. Now he's going to be compromised at the exit of turn 4. And MyStyle's going to look to pressure him down the inside. He's got much more grip, but it's just too far back. And the Rapid Mirror also making up a few positions at the restart. Radioactive up into P5 from his disqualified position. Buenheimer P6, followed by Stewart, Teddy Ruxpin, Ruxian, Uncleaner, Halo, Neon Shockers, and Loki.
I just noticed Uncleaner had a torrid safety car restart. He was P4. Rapid Mirror overtook him. I don't know if it was under yellows or not. I was on board with him. Or didn't quite notice it really, but or couldn't quite tell, sorry. But Uncleaner has had an absolute mare of a restart down into P10, already looking to send a move on Teddy Ruxpin, try and claw back some of this deficit. But I was very surprised when Ronin tried to go for that move, especially turn 3. That was a very, very close call between the two. I think there might have been a tiny bit of contact. I definitely heard the audio. But MyStyle now looking to pressure the Red Bull. It'll be a pretty easy pass for the Mercedes up into P2, but he still has that drive-through penalty.
Yeah, down the inside he goes into turn 1 on those fresh softs. Yeah, Ronin's going to send one down the inside into turn 3 just as he did a lap ago. Well, that came out of nowhere. He doesn't get the position as MyStyle will be able to get on the power earlier than him. Really good job from MyStyle to avoid him, but is he going to look down into turn 5? No, he's not. A second time in a row does Ronin send one into turn 3. Wow. I don't know if you caught that, but that was super late.
Yeah, just about caught the end of that. That was, yeah, 2 times in a row, as you were just saying, that Ronin has just tried to send it. And very, very aggressive, but he's got to do what he's got to do, especially with that tyre disadvantage that he currently now has. But as it stands, he's still technically P2, with MyStyle having his drive-through penalty. Rabbit as well on the podium at the moment, although Radioactive hunting him down. in the Williams. He's had a brilliant race so far, up 8 positions. Definitely looking to make some more in the last 7 or 6 laps of this race, should I say. But Style comes into service drive through now, which is going to allow Brando a little bit more breathing space here in this Portuguese GP. And really unfortunate for my Style, he was out front by a fair bit of tyres in the pits as well. Teddy Ruxpin round the outside of Halo at the first couple of corners. Halo sends it back down the inside just as Ronan has done. But a little bit more tame. But Teddy Ruxpin down the inside of turn 4. Oh, that was very...
Halo's going to be compromised.
Yeah. Looking to the outside now of turn 5. Absolutely sends it late on the brakes, but that's going to really affect his exit. Teddy gives him a little bit of squeeze on the exit there. But down the inside of turn 7, surely not. No, not quite. Halo backs out a little bit.
Oh, has he made contact?
The McLaren, though.
They make contact. Halo spins around. He keeps it in a straight line. And Teddy Ruxpin, Teddy Ruxpin, he lost it on exit completely on his own. And that allows Neon Shockers to say, thank you very much, up 2 positions in the Haas. I thought they were going to go 3 wide into turn 5, but he backed out to the Haas. Probably the clever thing to do. Looking back up to the top of the pack. Ronin still hanging on in P2, 2 seconds behind Brando. He's actually gained a few milliseconds since I last checked on him. But Rabid Mirror's going to have DRS down this main straight. Is he going to use the overtake? Ronin goes to defensive to the inside to try and break that slipstream. But you've got to look back at the Williams or Radioactive, who has made up loads of positions from the start from his DSQ. He's going to be too far back as Rabid is just slightly too far back into turn 1. He went a little bit deep into the corner, compromised him, but extra grip doesn't really matter. See what you can do on the exit of turn 4 as he takes a little bit too much curb, and he's going to have no chance at the move as he fakes it down the inside. But yeah, just too far back at the moment, and he has to settle for P3.
Yeah, definitely heating up there in Portugal. It's just noticed, well, back we go. Bornheimer had been passed by the Red Bull of Uncleaner. He's trying to clean up his act a little bit in these last few laps of the race. And now setting after Ruxy. He doesn't have a penalty, so he will definitely jump up to P5 at the most. But looking up the road, there's a big train behind Ronin now, so he's definitely going to be looking to try and make the most of this while everyone is going to...
Oh, has he gone round? He's gone round.
For a spin.
Yeah, he's gone round. And is he out the race? No, he's just kept it. Yeah, it went round at turn 12. And any sort of chance at a comeback is completely gone now for the Red Bull. He's now out of the points in P11. Been on board with Wenheimer. He's looking for Ruxian at the moment, but in that DRS train it's going to be so hard to overtake. Rabid Mirror locks up all 4 tyres. Slightly outbroke himself into turn 3. That's going to compromise him through turn 4, looking like anyone else is close. Nope. Oh, we got a retiree of Uncleaner.
That's Uncleaner in the pits. So that only leaves 10. Anyone that finishes now will get a point at least. But top 4, all not having penalties. Just going to quickly double check the number of penalties. Stewart has 3 seconds. Ruxian has 18 seconds. He's definitely at the back. Ponheimer has 3. Neon has 3. Teddy Ruxpin has 6. Halo has 6 as well. So Ruxian will definitely be going down. But everyone else will pretty much stay where they are. But Ronin doing a very good job so far to keep that P2 at the moment on those medium tyres compared to all the guys behind him in softs. But Brando just sitting out front, 2 seconds up the road. All he needs to do, he's on course to definitely take this race in the bag. But Rabid looking ever so closer to Ronin here. It's not a lot of ERS for any of these guys really. All of them around about 10% until you get down to Pornheimer, from P2 down to P5, and P6 as well, including Ruxian. But Radioactive, quite close enough to make a move. Definitely had a little bit of a peek into turn 5, as did Rabid on Ronin. But all the while these guys kind of squabbling a little bit. It's just giving Brando more and more breathing space so he can relax a little bit and just make sure that car gets across the line in one piece. he really needs to do currently with 2 laps left.
Yeah, Radioactive, not on 10%, he's on 0% down the main straight. He was on 0%, still decided to press the overtake button. Not like it was doing anything, but yeah, all three of them slightly struggling to manage the ERS. I think that's the only reason at the moment why Ronan is staying ahead of the Haas behind him in his mirrors. But looking like the gap is going to be, again, just too big. I don't think Radioactive is going to do much, as he's, out of all of them, the one with the least ERS, is he's going to hit 0 again. And that means he's going to have no advantage at all over Rabid Mirror. But again, he's just getting so close into turn 1, is Rabid, and then just loses it all everywhere else.
Or Radioactive.
Yeah, Radioactive down the inside. Didn't quite see that as I was on board with the Haas. They make a bit of contact, and that's going to allow Stewart to sneak down the inside. He came out of nowhere. Brilliant move there from the Alpine, capitalising on the Williams mistakes. But the Williams is going to send it down the inside. Almost make a little bit of contact. They do trade paint, but Stewart on that outside line with better traction stays ahead. Really good move there from Stewart.
Yeah, he definitely picked a really good moment there to apply the power he's got ahead of Radioactive. That's definitely going to get a little hot under the collar. Will be the Williams driver. He's now going to be a lot further away from the guys he was battling. Stewart has a penalty as well, but so far then this podium is looking like Brando, Ronin, Rabid, but there's still 1 lap left, and sometimes 1 lap is all you need. But just going to have a look. 20% is Radioactive, but probably going to run out over the line again. Just deploying it and run out about now. And Ruxian looking to make a move on the Williams. Looks to the inside. Turn 1. All contact and Ruxian's round.
Yeah, I mean, that was a pretty close one. I think that was a car's whip. Ruxian with 18 seconds of penalties, not going to matter anyway. But yeah, that was... I think that was the car's whip just there. That was very close, but unfortunate there. The collision between the two drivers, not what you'd like to see. But yeah, Ruxian down in plumb last. Still get some points, but would have been plumb last anyway with the penalties that he has amassed over the course of this race. 18 seconds of them.
Yeah, it's not been a weekend to remember for Ruxian, rather one to forget. But the last couple of sectors now, it's definitely looking, it's all gone Brando's way so far. He's been really good all race. He's just kept himself to himself. It's all he needed to do. And he hasn't responded to the safety car because he didn't need to. He's just kept him, he's just said himself to himself, and he's going to reap the benefits here. He's rounding the last corner with that lovely camera angle one more time. Up to the line comes the Aston Martin to win the opening race here in RF1. Ronin amazingly hangs on to P2, Rabbit P3, Stewart crosses the line P4 but goes down to P5 as Radioactive jumps in. Hornheimer in 6th, Neon in 7th, Halo jumps up to 8th for all the penalties. Teddy Ruxpin an impressive 9th from the McLaren. Ruxian doing a couple of donuts before the line, rounding out the points finishes. But what an opening race that has been, definitely filled with a lot of drama. As the 5 DNFers were Uncleaner, My Style, Loki, Derek, and who's the last one? Didn't quite see. Let me check in a second. Radioactive gets driver of the day. I'll probably agree with that, to be fair, considering he started last.
Yeah, I think I agree as well. So, Brando, if you're listening, Radioactive is our mutual driver of the day. You're the one who makes that happen. But yeah, Brando winning. Mr. Bonch, if you could be so kind to get the drivers in for the interviews. The top 3, Brando, Ronin and Rabbit. And fastest lap, I just searched for Brando as well. Maximum points for him. He's going to lead the championship, 26 points ahead of Ronin on 18. Rabbit just behind them. All-American 2-3-4. Bonch leaves the party. Love that. So one thing I'll do is I'll just quickly get Brando in myself, Ronin and Rabbit.
I'm so good at this. I invited them through my Xbox and it booted me out the party on my phone. Lovely.
Love it.
Totally professional stuff here.
Right, I don't think Ronin will be joining us. Um, so yeah, Bonge, take it away for the interviews.
Right then, so we'll start off with P1. Brando, he's finally done it. He's finally won a race. Started on pole as well, with an absolutely beautiful lap at the end of that qualifying session. It's not a lot in it between you and my style, but went for the reverse strategy, starting on the mediums, then going to the softs. Didn't respond to the safety car that came out that a lot of people ended up responding to, but kept yourself to yourself, and that's all you really needed to do. Came away with a lovely 26 points. I think you got fastest lap, if I remember correctly. But yeah, amazing race from yourself. If you want to give us a bit of an overview of your weekend from your perspective.
Well, it was kind of crazy. I didn't expect to be near the front in quali, so that was good. And then the race, the only thing I didn't, the safety car, the restart. I went a little bit too early and the game stopped me mid-corner. And that like ruined Ronin a little bit, but yeah, I really don't know what to say. It was a good race apparently.
Yeah, just massive congratulations to yourself. Just definitely looked in control of your own car, and that mattered pretty much for everything. Which managed to let you pretty much control the race. Although my style did get past at the beginning, but proved in the end it didn't really matter. You recovered brilliantly to snatch away P1. So first blood goes to you. I think me and Clara have definitely said at the moment it's you two are the ones to watch, you and my style. But we'll have to see how this plays out, because there's a lot of fast guys here. So I think we're definitely in for a brilliant season. But congratulations on your P1.
Thank you.
So on to P2 now, Mr. TRC Ronin. Absolutely stellar defense at the end of that race. Very, very impressive stuff. I don't know how you did that, in all honesty. Holding on to those medium tyres compared to everyone behind you who was just brand new softs after that safety car. Me and Clara were pretty puzzled as to why you stayed out, but in the end, it's definitely paid off in the end with a solid P2 finish from yourself. Give us a bit of an overview of your weekend, if you would.
Yeah, thank you. Shout out to my teammate Uncleaner. He started the race ahead of me on mediums, and so halfway through the race, I ended up letting him pass. Softs weren't the right call. I thought there would have been an early safety car, and I could have done something. But yeah, that final safety car, my teammate went into the pits, Unclear did, and so I couldn't follow right behind him, or I would have gotten held up tremendously. So I was waiting to pit the next lap, but by that time I would have fallen to 9th. So I was like, I'll just try to stay out. In the Perez Red Bull, did a little Ministry of Defense there. The DRS came, and I thought I was done, but yeah, I was able to hang in there. And good job to Rabbit and to Brando and everybody. I thought it was a great, clean race. So good job, guys.
Yeah, lovely stuff. Definitely from your teammate as well. Lovely teamwork going on that race. It's definitely held the end from your side of the garage. Bit unfortunate for your teammate not to, but still a long season. Definitely a lot can happen. Even a lot happened that race. So, but yeah, definitely well done to you. Holding on to that P2, very, very impressive stuff. So that just leaves one last one, Mr. Ravid Mirror. P3. Absolutely amazing stuff at the end of that race. Had a great battle with Radioactive for a lot of that safety car restart, but a bit quiet throughout the race from what I can remember. But in the end, it's brought you a podium finish. So absolutely lovely stuff. One of the drivers to respond to that safety car and pitting for the soft tyres in the end, it's paid off absolutely marvelously. So, you want to give us your opinion of your race weekend?
Well, I mean, after quali, I was kind of disappointed with how much running I did on the medium, so I didn't really get to where I wanted to be in the race. But I was comfortable with the P5 the entire race. I was comfortable with finish at P5, but then the safety car came out. Unfortunately, Style got a drive through. I mean, it helped me, but he did really good that race, and then Unclear spun out, so it put me in a good position. And then I was in P3, and defending from Radioactive it just took a lot, and so I couldn't really battle for P2. But even when I was there, I just didn't have the tire, so it was a good job to Ronan making the best out of his old mediums. Glad, I'm happy with the result.
Well, yeah, congratulations to you. P3, definitely no mean feat. You've picked up some very, very solid points today and managed to hang on through the massive train that was behind you on brand new softs. Granted, only a couple of them were definitely challenging through not having penalties. A lot of the grid did get some, but still very impressive stuff to keep a lot of those cars behind. So once again, well done on your P3 finish. I think that's pretty much it then. So I'll hand it back to you, Clara, if you'd like to do the last sort of segment.
Yeah, thank you very much. Lovely interviews as always, Bunch. Extracting all the information from our subjects. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for tonight's race. Lovely season opener, good way to start the season. Shows who our protagonists are, sorry.
And antagonists, definitely antagonists.
Yeah, definitely antagonists. Brando gonna flop this season. He peaked too early. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next week.